happy Saturday. I hope that you are well. I am coming to you live on several platforms. I decided to do Instagram, straight to Instagram, because it looked like the video lagged a little bit yesterday. So I am joining live from multiple areas. So thank you so much for joining. If you're popping in, I'm only going to be in for a couple of moments. Let me know that you're here. I am so excited to come to you on this beautiful Saturday to share with you. And I see that you all, oh my gosh, my stylist from Georgia. Girl, sometimes I wish I could just bring you to DC sometimes. I love you so much. I have a great stylist in Baltimore, but I miss you so much, Brika. Hey, Miss Nita. Thank you for joining everybody that's checking in from Instagram. Black Rhino 75, what's up? Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you all are joining. I'm not going to be on very long. So if you're joining me from the Reframe Brains YouTube channel, I like to say thank you to you. Please do like and subscribe this video. Of course, my homie holding it down in Texas, Jermaine. Thank you always, my good brother. I'm popping in for just a few minutes because, as many of you all know, at 2 o'clock, I have the Reese Colbert Show, the hottest day party on the block. It's on Sirius XM channel 126 every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. And so I am her co-host, have been that for the past couple years. So I only wanted to pop on for a couple of minutes just to share a little bit around you are invited, what that means, what am I talking about. So for those of you who may not be aware of who I am Erica Savage. I am the founder and the host of the Reframe Brain, which is a wellness platform and community that is centered in brain health and unseen injuries. What we do at the Reframe Brain and my company, Evolve Savvy specifically, is that we help individuals, we help teams, we help institutions and organizations create and sustain cultures of wellness. And we do this with trainings, we do this in speaking engagements, we do it in a myriad of ways. And I'm very happy that I've been able to present in the corporate space. I've also been able to present in the universities as well. So the work that I do is very much seated in the fact that I am a former political executive. Many of you may know me from television. You may know me from Roland Martin Unfiltered, having done NPR interviews. I was in a political space for 20 years, a former political executive. But in March of 2021, I was in a really horrible accident, sustained a myriad of injuries, one of pronounced being a traumatic brain injury that left me as a polytrauma patient. And as a polytrauma patient, had 9 doctors, practitioners, all converging to help me get from the place that I had actually declined to because of the hit, which was effectively a toddler. So relearning how to do very rudimentary things. But in that, I learned reframing my brain. I learned really specific modalities and tools and techniques that are very helpful, particularly in the time that we find ourselves in. So that's what I came on to talk to you all about very quickly before I get ready for Reese's show, which is the invitation to understand that chaos is not just destruction. Chaos is actually a call to cultivation. And so I did a masterclass this week, 100-seat masterclass, very successful. It was complimentary. And if you're watching me by Instagram, you can DM me for the link so that you can join the class that will be the second cohort that will be kicking off this Monday, the 24th at 7 o'clock p.m. You don't want to miss it. It is complimentary, which means that where I normally get a 5-figure retainer to do the kind of offering that I'm sharing with you all complimentary, this is absolutely complimentary, which it means that it is $0.99. Strike off the 99 cent. It is absolutely free, but it is useful for this time because in my space as a political executive, I'm very well acquainted with chaos, have done emissary duty, which means that I did work outside of the country. But what I also understand is that there was very familiar chaos that was trapped inside of my body after the horrible accident that I was in. And in that, as I shared with you the tools and modalities that I learned, It was actually an invitation not for me to get back to normal. Of course, I wanted to regain the ability to read and write, to be able to walk again, to be able to exercise again. And was very, very grateful to God, was very, very happy to be able to return to that. But I also, in that recovery, in the convalescing, in the regaining of those skill sets, I made a decision very early on that I actually wanted to exceed where I was. And so there was the normal, which we actually, as a nation, as a global community, understood that our normal was really snatched away from us in 2020 during the pandemic, right? But in that time, we understood that the chaos that was brought in by the pandemic, by an administration that was not helpful in us receiving the tools to really make the adjustment that we needed to make, that chaos did provoke curiosity, it did provoke creativity, and it did provoke cultivation, which is, you can see behind me, beautiful, beautiful demonstration of cultivation with the paradise plant that is behind me, right? So I share all of that to say this to you. In that masterclass, one of the things that we talk about is that we talk about specifically chaos. I go into depth about what chaos is, but that it is specifically an invitation. And that invitation is for reinvention. What are we seeing in this time that is presenting an opportunity to do things in a different way? And what I mean by do things in a different way, meaning that we have to make some adaptations. We have to be flexible in a way. We have to say that this is not what it once was. However, what other things could it be? What does that mean at this time? And I am saying that to you because I experienced it in my own body. I experienced it in my own health. And for many of you all, it's not just the climate of what we're experiencing as a nation in terms of our government, but it is the market. It is the economic piece behind it. It's also what's happening in your familial dynamics. It's also what's happening in your own personal lives. So this is not just about one particular thing. This is about looking at the landscape of all that you are engaged with and asking the question, becoming curious, because that's what chaos does. It makes us become curious. When we were not able to be connected in the way that we once were at the advent of the pandemic, we asked questions, we got curious, and then most of us got Zoom accounts. And through Zoom accounts, we were able to connect in a way that we weren't able to connect at that time because of the virus and having understanding around how it spread and how long it lay dormant and when it was active, those types of things that were happening, right? And then we became creative, right? We became creative in the way that said, well, I enjoy going out to dinner, but that's not an option right now. But I feel a little bit too worn to maybe even go and get my food. So then there were delivery services that were made available, and some of those were made available at a novel price to us, right? And then we began to cultivate. We began to nurture and grow skill sets that may have been dormant, that may not have been something that we engaged at the level that we did prior to because we had more time. Things became a little bit more quiet. There were boundaries that were set in place. So, in this time, as a person who, again, spent 20 years in politics, was a political executive, I've done the work where I've been in chaotic places, where I've been in countries where civil war was happening and there were peace treaties in place and having to talk with foreign leaders. What I did also notice when I would go to villages, when I would go to smaller areas specifically, was that I would see that people, having understood that they were in war torn countries and areas, they still cultivated places of peace, places of growth. They saw opportunity to be able to engage in a way that made everything around them beautiful. It does not ignore. what is happening, right? It doesn't say that this is not the condition at the present. But what it also does is it makes the declaration that this is not always, this will not always be. So in the present, what is the opportunity that's being presented right now? And so I want to invite you to the Chaos to Cultivation Masterclass. As I said, this is complimentary because I understand both worlds. I understand political spaces, particularly upheaval, changes, shifts. And I also understand that there is a metric, a wellness metric, that also, when it's harnessed, when it's invited, when it's nurtured, that even with things that are happening on the outside, so to speak, and all around us, the approach looks different. It looks very different. And so we have faced a time somewhat similar in terms of the level of chaos. And I am saying to you that we can actually get to a place of cultivation if we accept the invitation. So, this is my invitation to you to go to evolvesavvy.com. If you're like, Erica, oh my goodness, link is in my bio on my page. If you don't feel like going to my bio, cool, DM me and I will make sure to send you the link. I've had a few people already, multiple people already that have DM'd me and asked me for the link, and they promptly signed up. It only takes a few moments. If you're already part of the Reframe Brain community, still you want to go to evolvesavvy.com so my team can identify the specific people that want to be a part of the class, okay? So evolvesavvy.com. It is streaming across the ticker if you're watching me from YouTube. If you're watching by replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you on this most auspicious day. And would still love for you, you have time to join this complimentary class. It is complimentary. And I got to tell you all, the feedback that I am getting from people that attended the class, we ran it last week from this last Sunday to Wednesday, has been phenomenal. And I was just like, we got to do it again. We got to run it back again. So we're running it back again. It starts this Sunday. It is going to be live. Hello to everybody that is joining. So glad to have you. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want you to make sure that you are connected. Hey, Cynthia, thank you so much. So glad to have you connected. So wherever you're watching, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook Live, consider this your invitation. All you need to bring to this particular space is an open mind, something to take notes with, if that's your phone, whatever device you use, or if you write and like to write by hand, whatever it is. And that's it. And be ready. Okay. So we kick off on Monday. I'm going to go so I can get ready for the Reese Colbert Show, where I am every Saturday, Sirius XM channel 126 from 2 to 4 p.m., the hottest day party on the block. And I'm going to make this widely available to the Sirius XM audience. So please make sure you go ahead and sign up at Evolve Savvy because they tend to make sure that they are in the place to be. Okay. Listen, I absolutely, you all already know, I absolutely love each one of you all. Thank you for showing up in this space. And I hope to see you Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Chaos to Cultivation Masterclass, where everyone that attends, I love you too, Sonia. So good to see you. Hey, Building a Better Me. So good to see you. Everybody that's joined, thank you so much. You will get a guidebook, as I call it. You will get that to help guide you through the class. And everybody that completes the class gets the Chaos of Cultivation Toolkit. So not only are you just coming to be in community and to hear the presentation, to be in community, but you're also getting things, right? So this is complimentary on complimentary on complimentary, honey. So evolvesavvy.com, DM me for the link, and I hope to see you Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Absolutely love you all, and I will see you on Monday. Be well, everyone. Bye bye.